So you can see that there are 6 important areas over here to fit into these competencies. But one may not able to comply with all the sub criteria over this. This is a requirement which has been stated by UK spec. For applicants, you may fit into 1, 2, or 3 of these areas as the main contributions. The rest 3 you have awareness, so that doesn't stop you to apply, doesn't stop or doesn't say that you are not meeting these criteria in these competency areas. You are. The only thing is, oftentimes we may not able to fulfill all the requirements. B3 is implement and evaluate the effectiveness of engineering solutions, and that is the B3. Implement solutions and evaluate their success. C is more into management and leadership skills. You can see that plan and manage resources to enable the implementations of significant engineering roles. And lead team and technical applications to assist others to meet changing in technical and managerial needs, and also to provide technical and commercial leaderships. D is communications. You communicate effectively with all levels in English, and also you present and discuss proposals, justifications, and conclusions to management and also your team members, or to your suppliers, or to your clients.
Excuse me, sir, are you sharing your screen?
I'm sharing, yeah.
Okay, all right.
So that's D. Now, wrap up the narratives, where you can see that how did you approach problem solving deals? How did you manage the reports, manage and report the progress? How did you address risk issues and communicate risk issues? Communications, buy-in from stakeholders. On E, the professional values, understand and comply relevant code of conducts, understand safety implications at the workplace, and also to have a good awareness of safety standards in relations to working areas, and understand the principles of sustainability developments at the workplace, carrying out CPD records, and finally its code of ethics. Now coming to the application part of here. So if you are in the midst of writing application, submitting applications, there are few checklists is available in IET where you can, in a career manager, that's a tool where we prefer applicants to apply using online career manager. Okay. To apply the professional registration, simply follow the registration checklist and use the comprehensive guidance notes for your desired registration category. So fill out professional registration checklist, focus on your career history, use guidance notes and available on the website. First person strong action verbs. No more than 12 pages is a guideline. Include your organization chart and review your application at any time. Send a copy to your advisor or PRA for feedbacks. Okay. Have your applications verified online by your supporters, your line managers, and submit your application to IET. So this is the process. Once you submit your applications, it will be goes for the peer assessment level 1 and level 2. And then there will be a PRI interview will be arranged, and final decision at a level 4. Panels at a level 4 will decide the award of CEng for an application for an applicant. So the moment you submit your application, it will take about maximum 3 months for IET to organize an interview, PRI interview. PRI interview is a stage 3. Before stage 3, within this 3 months time, stage 1 assessment by peer panels will take place, and then stage 2 assessment will take place. Just for your knowledge. And once the completed interviews, nowadays interviews are happening online, and it's becoming more prominent now with online interviews. Once interviews are completed, then there is a stage 4 will be the final decision be made. Okay. So what should I expect? Mandatory for CEng, mandatory requirements for CEng. In interview, PRI interview, there will be 2 interviewers, will be a panel, will be interviewing an applicant. Last around 45 to 60 minutes, 15 minutes, you are required to do presentations, and based on your application form, the interview will be conducted. Now the interview will be, the objective of interview is to validate the contents which you have provided. It is not a kind of examinations or assessments during the interview, just to share with you, right? And read your application forms. How should I prepare? Read your application forms, and stay advised in the professional advisor of the IET. You are required to do 15 minutes presentations, and also you are required to submit CPDs. Right. I think towards the end, thank you so much for your patience and listening. Now, what I've touched here is from the very beginning, we spoke about what is IET, how do a student would be benefits from IET, and also how do I do professional registration, and what are the requirements. We spoke at the body of this talk, all the competency areas, and also see, the point here is I never say that you have to work for 5 years or 10 years to get a professional engineership. It is all depends. If you met the qualifying, like for example, you have a significant experience by doing research in academic environment. You have a PhD degrees, and then you continue as an academic researcher. You have been intensively involved in research and development. You have been publishing reputable papers in journals, and you have received a couple of awards. You might have a patent. Probably you might, within 3 years, you can get a chartered engineer. There is no showstoppers. So it depends individual basis, right? So that is my take today. For students who are aspiring to become a chartered engineer, yes, by all means, keep in touch with people from IET Local Network, seek advice, support, and we are here always to support you. Thank you for the sessions.
Thank you very much, Victor. So now we will assess the questions in the chat box, as we apologize for letting your questions on pending, so we will attend them now. So Victor, there's a question. say, hi, I have got my IR for IEM and pending registration with BM. Can I apply for CEng?
Yes, you can. A professional engineer, by mean you can apply for CEng. There is nothing to stop. Yeah, if you have a mind to become a CEng, to become a chartered engineer, by all means, please get in touch with us, with IET Local Network, or with the PRAs, yeah, local PRAs. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. And there's another question. What is the benefit of obtaining CEng in our career? Can we work in UK?
Okay. If you're getting if you have intention to work in UK, CEng qualification will be added value for you. If it is not to say that if I have a CEng, can I get a job in UK? I think that is it is a different story altogether.
Okay. So we would like to have your permission to share your slides. Is that okay?
It is not so for me. So I think we have to ask the organizer.
Oh, okay. Okay, so let's keep this question first and we'll proceed to the next one. The engineer with no design experience, but in planning, execution, manage, control, and monitoring of project, are they eligible to apply for CEng?
Yes, they are eligible to apply for CEng. As I mentioned just now, competencies, we have stated 5 main competencies. It is not necessarily that everybody need to fit into all the competency areas. As long as you have some awareness of certain competencies and you are contributed significantly to the other competencies, yes, you can. My answer is yes.
Okay. Yeah, and the next question. After graduation, how many years of work experience I need to apply for CEng?
Very good. I think I've just touched on that area just now towards the end. There is no specific time frame. You can be minimum 3 years. You can be 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. It's depending on individual, have they achieved the competency levels. So what are the competency levels? It is stipulated in UK spec version 4. Have a read through the competency levels, and if you think that you are qualified, you have experience on all the areas. Of course, you are not meeting all the sub competencies. As I mentioned, it is not necessary to meet all, but if you have some, out of 6 sub competency areas, you meet 3 and you have a record, and the rest 3 you have some awareness, then it is okay, you can accept. So there is no specific number of years stipulated. We have interviewed candidates after his PhD, 2.5 years he applied for CEng and he got it, but he was intensively involved in research and development, emerging technologies. And also often in version 4, we can hear about emerging technologies as well. Right? And he also has a patent. So yeah, that justifies for CEng applicants.
Okay. Okay, thank you, sir. So is having a master's degree a requirement to become CEng?
Yes, if you see now in a UK 4, this is a very good question. If you look at version 4, there is a 2-part of it. One is exemplifying qualifications, where it says that CEng accredited Bachelor of Engineering Honors plus Master of Engineering. That is the basic requirement. But also on the other side, underpinning knowledge and understanding UKU, they're saying that in those who does not hold these exemplifying qualifications, for example, individual assessments via formal academic programs, in employment trainings, experiential learning, self-directed learnings, they can also apply for CEng.
Okay, thank you, sir. Is a bachelor degree from local university eligible to apply?
That's a very good question. Yes, it is eligible to apply provided the degree is been recognized by licensees. Licensees referring to accreditation bodies and professional bodies.
Okay, thank you, sir. There's a question. Who is a PRA and how to identify one to assist CEng application?
That's very good. In a website, if you Google IPRA of the IET, you will be receiving a landing page to find the PRAs for locals. We have quite a number of professionals to support applicants, to guide.
Okay.
IPRA of the IET. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. And okay, another question. What is the difference between CEng and PEng?
Okay, good question. CEng is Chartered Engineer awarded by Engineering Council UK, professional registration from Engineering Council UK. PEng is a professional engineership from Board of Engineers Malaysia. So these are the difference. So engineering bodies are different. Engineering Council UK and PEng is from. The awarding body is Board of Engineers Malaysia. Yeah.
Okay. Are these route to CEng information similar to for other UK EC institution?
Okay. The main guidelines of this UK spec is drafted by Engineering Council UK, right? So we are IET UK is under license by Engineering Council UK. So in my opinion, it could be same, but obviously, if you look at the institutions of civil engineering, they might have their own requirements along with the master UK spec. So yeah, mostly would be same.
Okay. And so the renewal will be like every 1 year or 2 years or any duration?
Annually, renewal annually, yeah.
Oh, annually. Okay. And next one. Oh, if someone is just now taking membership and have qualifications for CEng, still they need to wait for 3 years?
If you already have working experience upon your graduation, let's say you have graduated 5 years back and you're already working and you have accumulated your working experience, competencies, skills, you have a good record, you can, the moment you become a member of IET, you can apply for Chartered Engineer immediately.
Okay. And what is the total cost to get, what is the total cost to get CEng? And do we need to become a member of IET or how much membership fee?
Okay, the membership fees is
so someone has answered the annual fee. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Actually, I wanted to say that I think it's good to refer to the IET website because, yeah, I don't have the figures offhand. Yeah.
Okay, and for the supporter one, Ayurveda just now has said, which is the PRA, the professional registration authorities advisors. Sorry. And then for the, what is the pathway for BEng honors grades to apply for PEng?
PEng.
Yeah, BEng, the bachelor.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
What is the pathway for BEng honorables? On grades to apply for PEng?
Pathway. Okay. The moment you have a Bachelor of Engineering honors, right? So there is a two ways. Minimum requirement, as I mentioned, that you need to have a master. Right. Now,
right.
if you don't have master but you have years of experience, can substitute for the master qualification. Yes, you can submit with your experience. So that is the answer. Pathway. So you have to accumulate your years of experience with respect to all the competency areas you have already seen now. So it is, if I'm venturing into a workplace, industry upon my graduation, so you have a clear understanding which areas your contributions are required to become a professional registration for registration. Right,
Okay.
that information is stated in UK spec. So you exactly know what you need to do and how you need to address that.
All right. Okay, thank you, sir. So now maybe we have to stop the Q&A session due to insufficient time. And if you have any further questions to ask Victor, feel free to email us and we will forward to Victor. I will pass our email address in the link later. And thank you very much again, Victor. So before we end this first session, so let's have a photo taking session together with Victor. So please turn on your cameras to show your handsome and beautiful faces.
Thank you so much to the organizers.
Okay.
And I hope students have been benefited from the talk today. Yes, if you have any questions, you are most welcome to submit the questions and email to the organizers. I will reply as soon as possible.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. So, Professor Zuhaina, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. So now let me introduce our second speaker, Zuhaina. So for your information, Zuhaina is the professor of Faculty of Electrical Engineering, University Technology Mara, and she has achieved a PhD in Electrical and Electronics Engineering for University of Strathclyde in Glasgow, United Kingdom. Zuhaina is the Dean for Institute of Graduate Studies, UiTM, and she is also very active in engineering professional societies such as IET, IEEE, and IEM. Her great leadership and management skills made her being given opportunities to hold several administrative posts. Her main research interests are energy efficiency, power quality, load profiling, and power system analysis. So now, without further ado, let's welcome Zuhaina for Route to IR through CEng. Zuhaina, the stage is yours now.
Okay, thank you, Jing Hong. Good morning, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank University of Southampton, Malaysia IET On Campus for this invitation, and I would like to welcome everybody to this session. And I also would like to thank my fellow speaker just now, Ingenieur Victor. I think he has laid out a very good information on IET and also Chartered Engineer. It makes my job easier. Okay, let me share my slide. So I was given a topic to share about about a route to PEng from Chartered Engineer. Okay, let me share my slide. Okay. Okay, I hope everyone can see my slide.
Yeah, we can see.
You can see it? Okay. Okay. Now, so this is actually based on also my personal experience because I obtained my chartered engineer first from IET, then only I applied for professional engineer from Board of Engineers Malaysia. So what I would share with everybody today is about the engineering professions in Malaysia, and a little bit about Board of Engineers Malaysia, and then what are the routes to professional engineer awarded by BEM, and also what are the assessment or procedures involved in getting a PEng from BEM. Okay, now as maybe everyone has already known that the engineering profession in Malaysia is regulated by the Registration of Engineers Act, REA, 1967, and also some revised version in 1974, 87, 89, 2002, 2007, and recently 2015. So these are the act that governs the profession in Malaysia, and also laid out the foundations of the profession in Malaysia. And then because of this act, there are one regulatory body called Board of Engineers Malaysia. This is set up by the Malaysian government to administer and enforce the REA, the Registration of Engineers Act, and its provision to protect public interest. Okay, so with this act and also with the regulatory body, the engineers must register with BEM. So only graduate engineers and professional engineers registered with the board are allowed to practice engineering in Malaysia. So meaning that the REA also make it compulsory for the graduates to register with BEM as a graduate engineer upon graduation. So we can see from this clause here, where in section 7 2A, it mentioned that a graduate engineer who is registered with the board may, subject to section 8, take up employment which requires him to perform professional engineering services. And because of this mandatory requirement, there will be a penalty. Okay, in section 24, it mentioned that any person, sole proprietorship, partnership or body corporate who contravenes this section 7 or 8 shall be guilty of an offence and shall on conviction be liable to a fine not exceeding 50,000 ringgit or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 3 years or to both. So we're speaking legal this morning. So meaning that it is compulsory for graduates to register with the board, although maybe I think maybe there are some engineers who have not registered yet, but it is illegal to practice engineering if you're not registered with the board. Okay, now let's look at what is the definition of a professional engineer from the Board of Engineers Malaysia point of view. So it is mentioned that for a professional engineer registered with the board, it may do this following. It may take up employment which requires him to carry out or to perform professional engineering services, and also he or she can describe themselves under any name, style or title bearing the words professional engineer or the equivalent thereto in any other language, and bearing any other word whatsoever in any language which may reasonably be construed to imply that he is a professional engineer, or using the abbreviation IR, okay, before his name, or abbreviation PEng after his name, or in any way in association with his name. So that is why this, for example, this topic is called route to IR from CEng. And also can display any signboard, card or any of the devices representing or implying that he is a professional engineer, and also use the term as may be determined by the board. So that would be what are the things that a professional a registered PE can do once it has given approval from the board. So what are the rules to professional engineer? Okay. Now, there are 3 routes. Okay, one is called route A. This in general for this route, the candidate must pass a PAE or Professional Assessment Examination conducted by BEM. And then there is another route called route B. This is for a candidate which holds a professional qualification which BM considers to be equivalent to the PAE conducted by the board. And route C is for corporate member of Institute of Engineers Malaysia. Okay. Now, previously this route is known as route 1, 2 and 3. And route B is previously known as route 3. Okay, but I think since last year, since November 2020, BM has renamed all this route, so it becomes route A, B and C. So what are we talking today, especially is for route B. That means you already have chartered engineer and you would like to apply for PEng from the board. So this is the route that you will take. Okay, it is called route B, right? So what is the basic requirements? So if you already have a chartered engineer with IET, okay, but now you want to apply for CEng from the board, the basic requirement is that you must register as graduate engineer with BM. Okay, so that is the basic requirement. Okay, and then once you have registered as graduate engineer with BM, now you can select which route. But in this case, we are focusing on route B. Okay, so if for route B and also route A, this can only be done from the date. Actually, this is 1 year. I think is missing here. 1 year from the date of the approval as graduate engineer with BM. That meaning that once you register with BM, after 1 year only, you can choose route B to apply for CEng. So this is the basic requirements. So how to register as graduate engineer with the board? First of all, you should have a recognized academic qualification. Okay, and the board recognize these two category. One is engineering degree awarded by Malaysia. I think for those graduate from Malaysia, there shouldn't be any problem because all engineering degrees from public and private universities are accredited and also recognized by the council, Engineering Accreditation Council. And then the other category is engineering degree awarded by other countries. For example, you have degree from UK universities, from Australia and something. So this, if you have this kind of degree, so the recognition of this degree will be based on the accreditation given by professional body who is signatory of Washington Accord. Okay, so Malaysia is also one of the signatory of Washington Accord. So if the degree from the universities is recognized by the signatories in Washington Accord, then the board of engineers also will recognize the degree. Okay. Then so once you have registered with registered as graduate engineer with the board, then now you can apply for CEng using route B. So when I applied before, it is a manual form, but now application can be made online in BM website. It's called My BM System. And then you need to pass an assessment called Code of Conduct Assessment. Okay, so this Code of Conduct Assessment is based on the REA. And then you need to submit to BM a certified latest professional engineer certificate. In this case, you need to submit your your CEng certificate to the board, and then you must also have a summary of practical experience not less than 3 years using the company letterhead certified by a PE in the same branch engineering at which you did your practical experience. So these 3 years do not to be in one go. You can be a consecutive time, and you should explain what are the tasks that you did in the company, and this must be certified by a professional engineer in the company, a PE that recognized by the board. And then you also must give some supporting documents. This all you can get from the BM website, and these supporting documents must be certified by a professional engineer recognized by BM. And then there is a fee. Currently, the fee is 50 ringgit for the processing fee and registration fee of 300 ringgit to the Board of Engineers Malaysia. Okay, now I'd like to talk about the Code of Conduct Assessment, because this is actually a written examination, okay, but it is an open book assessment. You can refer to the Act, Registration of Engineers Act, and also Registration of Engineers Regulation. So there are two handbook that is provided to you in the examination hall. So most of the questions can be referred to these two guidebook. And the two part of assessment, part A contain 5 questions. You need to answer 3 out of 5. And for part B contains 3 questions. You need to answer 2 out of 5. And I think the time is 90 minutes. So you have to answer all questions in 90 minutes. Okay, now I'd like to share my journey. Okay, so for my application to CEng, for my route to CEng, I applied. I submitted my applications in 2015. I think I started quite late. Okay, because I'm a lecturer, so I do not have enough practical experience. So I think I waited quite a long time. So I submitted my application in 2015, and then I received the call for interview in March 2016. So about 4 months after that. Okay, and then I received the approval letter about less than 1 month after that, 22nd April 2016. So it's quite smooth, even though there are quite documentation that you need to fill in, but I think it was a good reflection also on yourself, on what you have done, and on what of your achievements so far. Then after I obtained Chartered Engineer with IET, I decided to go for PH from Board of Engineers Malaysia. So I submitted my application in 2017, 21st December 2017. But only I think about 10 months after that, I received an email saying that I need to sit for PAE, Professional Assessment Examination. Okay. Then after that, 21st February 2019, I received approval of my application. So why there's quite a gap there from my submission to the examination? Because I'm in the first batch which need to sit for this code of conduct assessment. Okay, previously there is no assessment. Previously, for those who have chartered engineers, you just submit the form, they will review it, and then they will approve or reject. That's all. But for this batch, which I'm in it, so we are the first batch who need to sit for this code of conduct. So I received an email, I think in September 2018. They mean about 9 months after my application. If you can read here, it says that the board has reviewed the requirement for PE Route 3. At that time, it was known as Route 3, and decided that all applicants for this Route 3 need to sit for conduct of professional examination. So since we are the first batch, so we do not have anywhere to refer what kind of question, but they give some guidance. It mentioned that the syllabus for this assessment comes from the Registration of Engineers Act 1967 and also Registration of Engineers Regulation 1990. So what do we have here is that they give us the topic, the theme of what they will assess us, and we need to answer 5 from the following aspects. Okay, so if you can see, that's that the one that I highlighted is one that I studied, sort of like getting some spot exam questions. So for example, we look at like scope of conduct, scope of code of conduct as an engineer. So in that question, they will give some case study or situation where you need to assess and then give your opinion based on the act. Okay, and then talk about entitlement of professional engineers. What what they can do and or what they cannot do. Okay, it's all in the act, but you need to elaborate some of the points. Okay, and then so finally after the examination, I received the result saying that I passed. Okay, I passed the examination, and then I think a month after that I received my certificate as a professional engineer from Board of Engineers. Okay, so I guess that's all that I can share at the moment. Maybe I can answer some questions from the participants, and I hope this session has benefited all the participants. So thank you very much. I pass back to the organizer.
Okay, thank you very much, Zuhaina. So now let's proceed to the Q&A session. Okay, so the first question, if the person already registered as graduate engineer with BEM more than 5 years, and she got the CEng, does she can straight away apply for PEng?
Okay, she has also registered as graduate engineer, right?
As graduate engineer and CEng.
Okay. Yes, provided that she also have this 3 years practical experience. She can show that she has some evidence that she has these 3 years of practical experience, then she can apply for PEng.
Okay.
Okay.
And the next question, if a person already obtained CEng but not yet registered as graduate engineer with BEM, does she have to wait for 3 years before applying for PEng, or any waiver can be applied?
You need to register as graduate engineer first. Then 1 year after that registration, you can apply for PEng.
Okay. Next question. For the route B just now, if there is no PEng to certify the experience, can we ask another PEng to certify?
Okay. It will be good if at least in the same discipline. Okay, maybe if you do practical in one organization, in that department there is no registered PE that can certify, but in the other department, but in the same organization can do that, then you can get the certification from that engineers.
Okay. And there is a question here. How teachers in universities will get PEng Malaysia because they have only teaching experience and not much practical experience?
Okay, so that's what I did because I'm also a lecturer in university. But I tried to, because I don't go for industrial training for 1 year, okay, or for any other period. But when I have my final year project or postgraduate student like master students, so I attach them with an industry and sort of like doing a consultation with the industry, with Naga National, with consultation companies. So this can be one of the evidence that we have some practical experience with organization. The only thing is that since I cannot prove that I have 1 year or a dedicated year for industrial training, so my 3 years is not 3 years in duration. Okay, it may, because it's like part time, right? So it is longer. It may like 4 years, but it's actually calculated as equivalent to 3 years of the practical experience.
Oh, I see. Okay, thank you very much. Let's proceed to the next question. So PEng via CEng route qualified as PE or PEPC?
It's only for PE. For PEPC, then you need to take another examination. That means you apply for PE first, and then after that only sit for another examination. I think professional competence examination (PCE). Then only you can get PCPE.
Okay, thank you. Let me answer one question first. Yeah, the recording session will be found available in our Facebook page, and I will show you our Facebook page name, and our IG names later. So now, let's proceed to the next question. Professor, may I know what is the structure of the exam questions? answer 5 questions out of 10 or something like that.
Okay, as I mentioned before, there are two parts. So in part A, there are 5 questions. You choose 3. And then in part B, there are, I think, 4 questions just now. And then you choose 2. So altogether is like 5 out of 6 or something. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And there's another question. I have 12 years of industrial experience in oil and gas industry with detailed designing and commissioning of telecommunications systems. But I just applied and got my graded engineer from BEM early this year. Which route should I follow to get IR title?
Okay. In this case, since you're not, you don't have any chartered or anything like that, so you can just go using route A, okay, that direct route, okay. Or you want to become IEM corporate member, then go for PI under IEM, it just also can, either route A or route C.
Okay, thank you. And okay, let's proceed to the next question. If already got CEng, to apply for PEng, will BEM look into which uni? Which university are we graduated from? My experience formerly to apply for graded engineer, my application was rejected due to the uni were not recognized as a recommendation, and BEM suggested to further MBNG. So I wonder my case can proceed for PEng by BEM or not.
Okay. This is quite difficult for me to answer, but I think because of the degree is not recognized, so that's why BM suggested to further MEng, but you did MEng different field from BEng, so I suggest that you write to the board. I think their website is quite friendly. There's also a person in charge that you can ask further about this. I'm afraid that I will give a wrong answer for this. Better to contact BM directly.
Okay, thank you. If someone from electrical engineer and work with a mechanical company, is he eligible to apply for PEng?
It depends on the work that you did. If you work with a mechanical company but your task is mainly on electrical requirements, I don't see any problem, okay, for you to apply for PEng.
Okay, and okay, there's a question. I'm a EEE student from the University of Southampton. Can I be registered as an electrical engineer, power system engineer under BEM?
Okay, I believe that engineering degree from University of Southampton, is it Malaysia or UK?
Malaysia.
Malaysia. Then I think your degree are accredited by EEC, right? By the Engineering Accreditation Council. If it is, then you can register as you have to register as a graduate engineer first, okay, with BEM.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm the one who posted the question.
Okay.
Good morning, Dr. Zuhaina. Okay. Actually, my program is a 2-year in Southampton, Malaysia program, and the other 2 years of my program will be held in the UK.
Oh.
Yeah, it's. Yes.
So your qualification will be MEng or what?
MEng, and then.
If I think should be okay.
MEng. Yeah, and the program is being accredited by Washington Accord.
I think should be okay.
Should be okay.
I think there's a 3-year program. That would be difficult to register.
I see. Sure. Right. Thanks, Dr. Zuhaina and Jing Hong.
Okay. If a civil engineer background getting CS through IET, is it possible to register at PHBEM? Since IET dominantly in electrical field, will BEM perceive the foreign engineer background based on the institution he's coming from?
I think you will be registered according to your discipline. So even in BM also, you can choose civil. Okay, because you receive civil, you have civil engineering background, and then you get your chartered, I think, with civil. So when you register with BM also, you have to register with civil, the same discipline. I mean, the same discipline as your bachelor degree. So what is your bachelor degree?
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Professor. So now, if someone with CEng and have bachelor engineer in technology, is it possible or impossible to get IR with CEng?
There are also okay, let me see. There are also you can also register as graduate engineer using engineering technology. Yes, you can do that.
Okay. There's a question here. Doctor, could you share the tips for COE exam? Because I'm waiting for my COE exam dates from BEM.
Okay, you have to read, and also when you spot, let's say you're given the syllabus, you spot which one that you want to focus on, and you check the REA, get the answers, and practice to answer it. Okay. For example, if the answer is about liberalization of engineers, so you find that in the REA, what are the provision inside REA, and then you practice to answer the question, because it's only 90 minutes for 5 questions, so it's about 36 minute per question. So you need to be fast. So you need to practice. That's my tips lah. You need to practice before that, before you go in the examination.
Okay, thank you, Professor. So the one who just now asked for the 12 years of industrial experience further asked a question. He said, "Thank you for reply, Professor, and noted on your advice to go for route A or C. Should I wait for 3 years after approval of my graduate engineer, or immediately I can apply now since I have more than 10 years of industrial working experience?"
Okay. Only route A and route B, you need to wait for 1 year after graduate engineer. For route C, you can do it immediately.
Okay.
But route A and B, you need to wait for 1 year.
Okay. So yeah, the one just now asked for COE exam has further asked a question. Is it COE open book?
Yes, it's open book. It will be provided for you all the act, but you cannot bring anything outside.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Professor. So there's a question from Dr. Tan, and they say BEM is going to BEM is going to discontinue recognition of BEng as pathway to CEng. If this happens, will local BEng graduates be able to work in Malaysia?
I think this one is a 3-year program, right? The one that they want to discontinue, and I'm not sure whether it's affect the private universities in Malaysia, because I believe that all will be accredited by EAC, and I think this will only happen in 2023, if not mistaken. So the universities who are having this kind of program should revise their curriculum and make it a 4-year program. But this will affect, I think, mostly the UK universities, which some maybe someone send the children to get the 3-year degree engineering program, but they're not realizing it is not an MH, which will not be recognized by board later. So I think for local universities, there will be no problem if we follow the board rules.
Okay, thank you, Professor. So another question. Doctor, is the syllabus will be specifically mentioned and provided by BEM before the COE exam?
Yes, they will inform you. Basically, just like what I showed just now, like there are 17 topics. So you choose which one that you think is most easiest lah, that you can elaborate. So you look at the topic and you refer to the act. The act actually you can download now. You can get a soft copy. So you can refer to the act and see which topic that have more elaboration that you can very easy for you to answer the question.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Professor. So, does anyone have any more questions? If you have, feel free to type in the chat box and we will filter it for you. Don't be shy. If you have any question, just type in the chat box. I'm sure that Professor will be happy to answer.
I have a question down here. I don't know why I can't message. Yeah, because I'm not a member of the chat. But anyway, I just have one question down here. Okay, so basically, as far as we understand, to register the CEng, okay, it can be via the Engineering Council, which means that the IET that we're talking about now. And besides this, we also can register the CEng via the CEPC, correct? So I'm not sure these two bodies, what is the difference between these two?
Is Engineer Victor here? Is still here? I think maybe Engineer Victor can answer that because I'm not familiar.
So, thank you, Prof. Yeah, I heard the question. Chartered engineer through IET and chartered engineer through, for example, other professional bodies. Of course, the institutions are different. If, for example, ICE, institutions of civil engineering, they are different. And it depends on your own discipline. If you are a civil engineer, then yes, you may opt to register in institution of civil engineering as well. So my answer is yes, there is a difference.
Okay, if I look through the CEPC guidelines, basically they're talking about 5 competencies that we are talking about here also, you know, A, B, C, and D, and E. So to me, I look at it, it's quite similar, but it's just that the process to do the registration is a bit different. Yeah, because for IET, there is a recommendation that you must have a PRA to get you. But until the CEPC guidelines are SIBCE, the CEPC guideline is different. So there isn't any PRA and so on and so forth. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just wondering what's the difference on it.
Yeah, that's a very good point. The requirement, the competency requirement was stipulated by Engineering Council UK. Institutions, as I mentioned, there are about 27 institutions, or they comes under the umbrella of Engineering Council. So you may see that the competency requirements might be same. The approach of registration, there might be variations depending on the discipline. PRA, you touch on PRA. IET encourage candidates to engage with PRA because they may have a seamless journey to achieve their chartered engineers status. PRA, it's a one step ahead. They will be advising the right things for the applicants, whether to assess the applicants and to understand the gaps of the applicants compare with competency specs stipulated in Engineering Council. Then we will advise what are the gaps and how do you may address these gaps over a period of time. Then you come back for applications. So we will continuously advise. So these are the things PRA will do to assist the applicants to get a successful CEng.
Okay, Dr. Thank you, Engineer Victor. Are you also one of the PRA?
Yes, I am a PRA, and I believe Jimmy Farm also here. He also a PRA. So we are several team members are PRA in Malaysia. Yeah. If you go to website, as I mentioned just now, search on search Google, the IPRA of the IET, then you will come to the landing page of searching for IPRAs in Malaysia.
All right, thanks. Yep.
International Professional Review Advisor, IPRA, just to make sure things are correctly heard. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Prof.
Yeah, thank you, professors. There's another question. I believe this is a final question. So they said, for CEng from conversion to PEng, will BM recognize industrial experience before registration as graded engineer? Sorry, yeah. Professor, have you turned on your mic?
I have problem with my mic. Okay, actually, they will only recognize experience after registration as a graduate engineer. Not before that.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Professor. I believe that those are the questions. And yeah, Victor, are you okay to answer the questions just during a session just now? Because there are still some of them still haven't been answered.
Yeah, I'm okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Engineer Victor must clarify that, then only they can go to PEng.
All right. Thank you, Professor, for your time. Okay. Let me see what is the question just now. Okay. There's a question just now from Victor. From all 17 sub-competencies just now, how many competencies do we have to meet the levels of a practitioner or an expert? Can you let us know percentages if possible? Are there mandatory sub-competencies to be an expert or practitioner?
Okay. Yeah, very good question. There is no specifically stated that out of these 6 sub-competencies you must qualify 3. No, right? But in practical, one may not able to achieve all in over a period of experience in industries or even in academic. But she or she, the applicant, may be expert in some of the competencies in some of the sub-competencies in that particular competency. They might be expert, and some they may not, but they have a full awareness of it. So that is acceptable. But the spec, the UK spec is not saying that the minimum certain percentage must comply. Out of 6, you must comply 3. No, that is not stated. It varies between candidates to candidate. It cannot be across the board, right?
All right. Okay. Thank you, sir. So there's another question.
I hope I clarified that very well. There is no percentage. It depends on individuals, how they acquire the learning skills and their competencies throughout their working experience.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Victor. So there's another question. He said, if I'm a part of a team who jointly solve a technical problem and my contribution to the problem is right from the initial brainstorming, documentation of change, testing, and analysis, and presentation of the test results, can this be considered for the application even though I do not lead this team from the problem solving?
So he is not part of the problem solving.
It's just he has contribution right for the initial brainstorming, documentation, testing, analysis, and presentation, but he is not the leader of the team, I guess.
Okay, I understood that. That is predominantly comes under competency C areas, right? And also some part of B. So this is what I say, that you need to narrate your experience very clearly. Where do you stand? competency A, competency B clearly says that problem solving. Now we are looking at complex problem solving. So there must be an avenue throughout your experience as an engineer. You have some contributions on problem solving.
Okay.
Throughout your experience, right? May not be one particular project. You might have some other projects you have involved, or indirectly you have solved some problems while you are, in an organization. So that is, it has to be recorded. It has to be stated in the application form clearly.
Okay. Thank you,
So,
Victor.
Yeah. That is my answer. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Victor. Professor Zuhaina, there's another question for you. BM will only consider those experienced after gotten graded engineer. Those before will not be used.
Yes, if I'm not mistaken, that's why you need to register as graduate engineer as soon as possible you graduate.
Okay. Yeah, someone is typing. Let me wait for them. Oh yeah. Before coming out, the question is coming out. Let me, Professor, can you give me some time to explain the IET? Because
Okay,
yeah. So basically, IET, the Institution of Engineering and Technology, we covers all fields of engineering. No matter you are electrical or you are any other fields of engineer, like civil engineer, mechanical engineer, you are welcome to IET. Like for example, I'm not an electrical engineer. I'm currently taking my undergraduate program of aeronautical engineer, but I still joined IET because as the name here, they say the Institution of Engineering and Technology. So it covers all engineering fields and even technology, such as the computer science. Actually, all of the professors are welcome to this big family. And I believe that I have clarified on this. So yeah, in a nutshell, IET is not only for electrical engineers. All fields of engineers and technologies are welcome. Okay, okay, so there's a question here. Victor, could we provide some advice for professional engineer registration?
I think this is the European one.
Yeah, European engineer. Yeah.
Sorry.
Victor, to say, could you provide some advice for the European engineer registration?
Oh, European engineer registration. Okay. Yeah, that's. So one of the main requirements to become a European engineer registration, you must be a chartered engineer. You must be a chartered engineer. And if you look at, there is a guidance available in website, how to apply for European engineer. Fundamental requirement, there are two fundamental requirements. One is European engineer registration. Another one is your academic requirements. It has to be, your degree has to be recognized by Engineering Council UK. So these are the two main requirements. On top of that, they will ask you about your experience. They have their own set of standards, competency standards, which we have to qualify. We have to fill in the documents and have to get endorsement from the industries that, yes, we have contributed all these areas in the organizations. So that is the very basic requirement, but full suite of guidance available in fact, in the IET website as well. Also, you can check for European Engineer Registration UK.
Okay, thank you. And there's a last question. Can I apply member for IET and CEng together?
Well, you have to apply for IET first. It's not a very straightforward. You need to apply to qualify to become a member of IET. There are certain process. They will assess your qualifications and also experience. Once you obtain your membership of IET, then you are eligible to apply for CEng. I think that we also clarified.
Okay, thank you, Victor. So do you guys have any more questions? If not, if you have any further questions due to the time, insufficient time, maybe you can email us at usmciet@gmail.com, and we will forward the questions to the speakers. So
Sorry,
again, thank you very much. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to support your statement just now. IET supports wide area of disciplines, even at the level of technologies. So there is a category of incorporated engineer and ITech. So variety of disciplines, even the experts in computer engineering, also they are eligible to apply for IET memberships and to become a chartered engineer.
Okay, all right. So thank you very much again, Professor Zuhaina and I are Victor. Today is indeed a very informative talk, and I believe that all of us get benefits from this talk.